Hi everyone, welcome back to Defi Daily and a happy new year. Today we're going to talk about what will happen in the 2022 related to all the DAOs. Because one of the questions I'm receiving more often is the trend over or it will continue also into the next year? And I will try to answer to this question using a report that I have found that is talking about the main trends of the 2022. And I will share everything about it, and I will also share my personal opinion about this kind of topic. So stay tuned because we will go through everything. Before to start, guys, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And remember, if you like this kind of content, if you like what I'm doing, the best way to sustain me is always leaving a big thumbs up and drop a comment. And obviously, if you're new, if you want to always stay updated, you can subscribe and activate the ring bell. Remember also that all the contents in this channel are just for educational purpose and nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, great, but do always your own research first. Okay, guys, I promised you a report, and a report that I was talking about is this one. Crypto thesis for the 2022 and has been produced by the Messari company. That is one of the main companies when we are talking about analytics about cryptos. The report is quite huge, as you can see here, is composed by more than 150 pages and is going on different kind of topics. Obviously, we will not have the opportunity to go through all of them, but I selected a couple of main topics that are quite interesting for us in order to answer to the question, is the trend about DAOs coming to an end or not? And as you can see here, there is two main sections. Here, the 7 is DeFi 2.0 and at the 9 is the DAO of DAOs. So yes, the topic about DAOs is something that is still actual, and this is something that is also analyzed by this report. I will share with you also into the description below the link of this report, so if you are curious to know more about it, you will have the opportunity to do it by your own self. And as you can see, there are many different topics that are taken care by this kind of report. They are talking about NFTs, Ethereum, layer 1s, 2, market infrastructure and everything. So it's quite interesting reading if you have the time to go through it. Going back to the main question, is the trend over or not? The first answer that we can give is it's not. As you can understand, it is something that has been also mentioned by this report. And there are two main reasons why they are saying that the trend is not over. The first reason is related to the liquidity. The whole story about DeFi 2.0 is about liquidity and stable coins. As you can see here, they are talking about algorithmic stable coins and so on. And what they are saying is that the Olympus DAO has introduced this new concept of liquidity owned by the protocol. As you can see also from this image here, this one, you can find that the short-term liquidity that was a typical liquidity mining program has completely changed in long-term liquidity. And the reason why they are talking about long-term is because through Olympus Pro and all the different platforms that are taking this kind of concept, the liquidity is not anymore rented. It's not something that the power is just in the hands of the users, but it's the protocol that is owning the liquidity, and this is something that has a power because it's changing the view. The protocol is not anymore a smart contract that you are using, but it's something that is owning a certain amount of treasury. And here we are coming to the second reason why this kind of trend is not come to an end, and is related to the point that the DAOs are all owning a main treasury. And when we are talking a treasury, we can talk about a treasury that has been just a couple of millions, but some other time we are talking about treasuries that are going on around billions. The same Olympus DAO has a quite big treasury. If you want to know more about the different treasuries of the different DAOs, you can have a look to Defi Dao. But you have to remember one thing, that in the moment when we are talking about this kind of DAOs, we are not really just talking about rebased tokens. We are talking more in general about DAOs. So DAOs that are a decentralized autonomous organization that is owning a certain kind of treasury, so a certain amount of value. And on this website, you can find top organization ordered by the value of the treasury. As you can see here, the Olympus Dao has been classified into the 7th position. And to be honest, this kind of ranking is not considering all the different rebased tokens. For example, the same Wonderland is not in this ranking, even if the treasury of Wonderland is at the moment almost 900 million. And with 900 million of treasury, this kind of protocol would be in the 3rd position. Another thing that is quite interesting is that this kind of ranking is mentioning the number of members. And this is a metric that is quite important because in the moment when we are talking about DAOs, we don't have to evaluate them just for the market cap or just for the treasury. The power of the DAO is coming from the community, it's coming from how many people are part of the community. And for this reason, the number of members that are part of this DAO, of each DAO, is really important. It's a metric that you should have always a look. With any probability right now, you are start wondering, oh my God, yes, but I was expected to heard about different DAOs, for example, Wonderland Money, Olympus Dao, Nemesis Dao, Rom Dao, and all the other DAOs that are part of this world. And we are talking obviously about rebase tokens. For which reason he is talking just about, I'm reading here, Uniswap, BitDAO, Lido, Compound, Aave, and all the other different protocols. For which reason we are talking about them and not just about rebase tokens. And there is a really important point that you have to understand at this point. All the different rebase tokens platform that we can have a look, for example, here from CoinGecko, Olympus, Wonderland, Redacted, Klima, Hector, Invictus, Jade, and so on. They are all protocols that are based on the idea of staking and minting. And for this reason, many people have jumped in with the idea of becoming rich faster. And that's a possibility because many people has made a ton of money through this kind of protocols, and many others will do, because that's absolutely true that it is still possible to make money through this kind of rebase tokens. The point is that the window, so the amount of time that you have available in order to make this kind of money is reducing during the time, because if at the beginning you could stay inside a protocol for 1 month and could be quite assured that the protocol will grow into the time, right now most of the protocol has a life, span life that is just a couple of days or a couple of weeks, where you can for real make money, because most of the DAOs are becoming just a pump and dump token. So you are jumping in, you are farming, and you are leaving as soon as you have reached your goal of profit. The point is that in this way, if someone is earning, someone else is losing money, and the volatility inside the price of each token is quite insane. And that's one of the main reasons, because most of the people right now are just wondering if this whole story is coming to an end. The point is that, and this is also the reason why I was sharing with you this ranking that is talking about Uniswap, BitDAO, and so on, is because if you want to invest in something in a DAO, and it could be a rebase token DAO, because I love this kind of mechanism that has been introduced by Olympus DAO, because this is a way to create a treasury that is great, that's powerful, and it's giving the opportunity to the community to be part of something that is just boring right now and is growing. But on the other side, we have to keep in mind that in order to stay into the market for the long term, we should have an use case. The whole point is what kind of value is able that kind of DAO to deliver to the market. And that's for this reason that I'm using this kind of ranking to give you an idea that if a certain kind of protocol that has born just like a rebase token is able to evolve in something else, that's great. If we are able to use this to create more value, that could be gaming, it could be an incubator, it could be like an hedge fund that is able to reinvest money and so on. That's great, but we should create this value. Otherwise, we are just talking about something that is like a fun game, maybe something that could be a bet, but nothing more. For all of this reason, also what is saying the Messari Report is that we need to see some improvement into the flow of the decision. Yes, that's true that a DAO is great, it is composed by many people, that by a strong community, but at the same time, we need someone that is working actively inside the DAO and has the different skills in order to make the difference. What we need is, yes, a great treasury, a great community, but at the same time, into the community, into the DAO, we need someone that is able to create value through the skills. Because obviously, at the end, we are not here just to look at numbers. We are here to create something. Otherwise, a DAO is meaningless. So what the report is saying is that in the next year, what we will see is more professionals coming inside the DAOs in order to create value and to help to build new, let's say, yield flow or whatever other value is possible to create for a DAO. It could be simply just reinvest in the treasury, could be creating some process in order to incubate or in order to fundraise some kind of new protocol that is coming to the market, or creating some game or whatever it is. The point is that we need people that are not just them that has created the protocol, but we need a whole team, because the idea behind a DAO is nothing else than just a company, exactly as we are used to have into the real world. But on the other side, this kind of company that is based on the blockchain is owned by the community that are participating to the governance process. So they can make proposals, they can participate to the revenue and so on. But the whole point is that at the end of the story, we need the same kind of professionals that we have into a normal company. Otherwise, any kind of DAOs could have the biggest treasury, but without skills, without competencies, it will not evolve in anything else. We have a problem, or maybe we have three different problems. The first problem when we are talking about DAOs is that most of them are completely anonymous. And this is a major problem, because the main question that you would have probably right now is, okay, great, you're telling me that DAOs are not dead, but in which one should I invest? And that's the main problem, because the main difficulties that we have right now is to find the next big DAO, to find the next big project. And the problem is that into this DeFi ecosystem, it's quite normal to see anonymous team. And this is something that's quite a problem, because it's difficult for an anonymous team to build trust with the audience. It's much more difficult. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not even saying that a team, if it is anonymous, it is a scam. That's not absolutely true. I'm just saying that if a team is anonymous, it's much more difficult to create a relationship with the audience. What we need is, in any case, some leader that is able to put his face and lead a group, because DAOs are not just chaos, are not just a random group of persons that are doing stuff. Because without any kind of organization inside the DAO, it's impossible to create any kind of value. So for this reason, it's much more easier to do it through a leader. And that's one of the reasons why also Wonderland Money has reached this incredible success. And the reason is obviously because we know who is the leader of this project, and he is Daniele Sesta. On the other side, on many other projects, we don't know so much about the team who is behind, what is their track record. And into this way, it's much more difficult to distinguish which one is just a scam, a team that is just here to rug pull us, or another team that has great skills and it is here to be really able to create value. So this is the main problem, the first problem. The second problem is that the market is changing so fast. I don't know if some of you is remembering this image, and this is from Forbes, and it was the 2007 at the end of that year, and Forbes was claiming Nokia, 1 billion customer. Can anyone catch the cell phone king? And that's quite incredible if you think about it, because in the moment when Forbes was publishing this image, at the same time, the iPhone were already released and was on the path to the success and to literally delete, cancel, call it as you want, but the reality is that in that moment, Nokia were already a walking dead, for the only reason that it has been already surpassed by the iPhone, and after the iPhone also Samsung with all the different smartphones that has been produced by the Samsung company. Nokia would have literally a really small impact into the whole industry, even if in that moment anyone was thinking about the Nokia was the leader, the greatest, and it would be impossible to almost to catch them, as you can see here from the image. The reason why I'm sharing you this title of Forbes is because you have to remember that what you are seeing right now and you are thinking that it is unbeatable, it can change any moment soon. And it could have already changed, but the point is that you don't know. You have to remember that what is happening, this kind of dynamic is something that is quite normal and it's part of the game. And if you want to invest in anything, you have to remember of it, because even if something looks like great, it doesn't mean that it will have the ability to stay on the market, because the market is changing so fast that we can't predict what will happen into the next future. So that's really important, because it's something that will happen with any probability also with DAOs. Right now we are seeing some DAOs that is impressive, and we don't know what will happen into the next future. And there is another thing that you should remember. It also means that among all the different DAOs that are just looking at a small project without any sense, with any probability there is some gem among all of them that will succeed into the next future. The problem is which of them, what will be really able to succeed in the future. And the point is that it's really difficult to understand it, because we have said just a moment ago that the market is unpredictable, that anonymous teams are not helping us to decide to understand if a project could be valuable or not. And on the other side, the third problem is marketing. And that's quite simple to understand, because all the different projects are just competing to buy your trust. They are trying to manipulate your feelings, your perception, in order to convince you that they are the best. And that's a major problem, because into this kind of system, into this kind of dynamic, it is really difficult to understand which project is legit. But most of all, even if a project is legit, it doesn't mean it will succeed. And it's really difficult, not to say that it's almost impossible, to distinguish a project that will succeed from another that will not. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is to explaining you that yes, DAOs are alive and will play a really important role into the next year. The point is, it's difficult to understand which one of them will succeed. So don't just type into a single project. Try to study the market, try to understand what's going on, try to participate to the community, because that's the only way that we have in order to understand what is the real value behind a project. Guys, let me know what you think about this trend for the next year. Share your thoughts into the comments below, and I will be more than happy to listen from you. And remember, if you like this kind of content, just leave me a big thumbs up, drop a comment, and if you're new, obviously subscribe, and remember to push the ring bell button in order to be always updated every time I post a new video. Guys, thank you for following me. Happy New Year again, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye guys.